Hey everyone, this is PrinceBrightstar, and welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV Stormblood. So, yesterday we wrapped up the main scenario quest, as well as the new trial. Today we're going to be continuing on with the 24-man raid content. Yes, I did start that partially yesterday. You can find a link with timecode below for where the initial portion of that is. We just went through some of the initial cutscenes, and we're going to be picking that up today. But before we do that here today, I am over here by the clan hunt board, and specifically I want to speak to the clan Centurial member here, and go under the Centurial Seal Exchange 2. And as you can see, I've already got 3 of these Peerless Clan mark logs. Now, I'm going to purchase another, and basically what these mark logs do is they become a trade-in item for you to essentially upgrade your current gear, specifically the Skaven gear. And what I want to do is I want to upgrade the Skaven Bracelet of Fending here first, before we go any further. So, let's go ahead and take that off, because we need to do that. And we're going to go under Wondrous Sundries over here at the Token Exchange. And we're going to buy a Skaven Shellac. With that done, we come over here to the Gear Exchange, and we go under Skaven Gear Augmentation. And we can just grab the Augmented Skaven Bracelet of Fending right here. Exchange. We grab both items. And so now... Whoops, I'm still talking to her. And so now, I have an item level 400 bracelet instead of an item level 390. So let's go ahead and update the gear set. And we're going to come over here to the Material Provisioner. Switch sticks. I'm going to grab some Strength Materia. And we're going to get it melded. And there we go. This bracelet is now all set to go for today's events. My item level is now 390. Let's make our way back over to Kugane. And we are headed over to here once again. As I mentioned before, we started this yesterday, and we are essentially picking up where we were to depart to speak to somebody. So inside the airship landing we go. And we have the Banga Bwagi here, so let us speak to them. Let me know when you are ready to depart for Rabanastra. We will travel in our airship. The Prima Vista would draw too much unwanted attention. Let's go ahead and do it! Back to a life of brigandage in the clouds, are we? Of course not. Not that it didn't cross our minds. But when faced with the decision of what to do next, we needed simply to remember the dying words of our leader, Gijuk Rinok, and I decided to re-enlist as Dalmascan Fulsirs. And the occupying Garleans actually said yes, Kupo? Not exactly. We're now with the Resistance. You no doubt heard of the uprising in Dalmasca that followed the Doman liberation, and how it was crushed under the iron heel of the 4th Legion. The Resistance leaders were captured, tortured, and publicly executed. Yet much of the Empire's chagrin, the gruesome display only served to further rally the survivors. Remove one head and 2 grow back in its place. Remove 2 and then there are 4. A person can die, but an ideal will live on. Now there exist several factions throughout Dalmasca. We belong to one known as Lente's Tears. And when we told our commanding officer of our recent crossing with you and yours, she simply insisted that we introduce you. Me? But I wasn't even supposed to be here, Kupo. Not you, hairball, him. Why are you here? Meet with the General and hear her proposal, Prince. If you are not interested, we shall return you to Kugane unharmed. You have our... Coral got your tongue? Ravanashtra dead ahead, lads. This way. We have many malms to cover before nightfall. I've done as asked. I bring you the Liberator. And here I thought he'd be taller. I knew it, a Vieira. I am Fran, proud daughter of Dalmasca and General of Lente's Tears. And yes, Moogle, I am a Vieira. Are you surprised? Why, yes, in fact, I am. Her kind are all supposed to live amongst the trees, having shunned contact with the outer world, Kupo. There are supposedly a few who have left their homes, but I most certainly did not expect to see one here in this sewer. Indeed. This Banga claims you seek Orbonne. Does he speak true? Indeed. Those ruins lie deep within the Golmore jungle, a place most sacred to my sisters. They would take great offense were you to defile it with your presence. What is more, Wage tells me you travel with Garleans, openly aiding those who would see our nation burn. How can we place our trust in one who would do such? My blade has tasted the blood of too many Garleans to count. And then you know the Empire and its people are one and the same. When you slay an Imperial soldier, you are not slaying an individual, you are slaying the enemy. Your companions, Liberator, are the enemy, despite their supposed change of heart. You misunderstand. Kind Genomus does not approve of the Emperor's warmongering. He wants to help Dalmasca and its impoverished masses, Kupo. And what would a Moogle know about my people? Does your blood run Dalmascan red? We could cut you open and find out. General, there is no need for threats. You are right, Quaggy. Let us then parley. Parley? Parley. First, the Resistance requires men. Men and women from the Eorzean and Eastern Alliances to join us in ridding Dalmasca of its Imperial invaders. Your past deeds have made you well known to the leaders of both. They will listen to you. Or if not, they will listen to the Scions to which you claim allegiance. Second, the Resistance requires gold. Gold to strengthen our forces from within. Your allies are in bed with the East Aldernard Trading Company, which continues its dealings with Garlemald even as you raise your sword against them, profiting from the Empire's rampant aggression. As targets of that aggression, I believe my people are entitled to a portion of those profits. Grant me these simple things, and I shall personally guide you safely to the ruins of Orbonne. And what of the Lexan tales? See me to victory, and I'll take the Emperor himself. Those are my conditions. What say you? Promise me first my companions will see no harm. I will promise you nothing, but if it helps you sleep, know that I have never cut down a man who did not take up arms against me and mine, be he Garlean or Eorzean. I'd say we have our work cut out for us, Kupo. Waki, you and the Fulsiers are to accompany the Liberator. I expect a detailed report on how my demands are received. Yes, General. Not that I expect them to be taken seriously. You're a fool to trust them, Princess. I don't think that was directed at me. Alright, let's hand in this quest. What an adventure, Kupo. Just think, by tomorrow we could all be the newest members of the Dalmascan Resistance. Not that I'm ready to give up my place on the Prima Vista just yet. Hurry, hurry! If I don't tell someone of our adventure quick, I'll positively burst, Kupo. Let's gotta get the feelings of the Bonga here first, though. Fran is not too bad, once you're on her good side. Her only good side being her backside. But you didn't hear that from me. I've finally come to accept Bagamnon is gone for good, but I will never forget how he met his end. I cannot allow my hatred to consume me as it did him. Do not put off Do not be put off by Lady Fran. The General has quite the edge to her, but it is only because she wants what is best for the Resistance. Alright, let us make our way up into the Prima Vista. This woman asks much of us. The Viera have ever been wary of outsiders. For centuries, their many tribes have remained hidden in the jungles, content with their self-imposed solitude. Each tribe has its own strict code, and will make swift punishment to anyone who would defy these laws. As such, many of Viera will spend her entire life bound to the territory of her ancestors, both unwilling and unable to venture beyond its borders. And while the tribes are wholly independent, they have agreed to uphold a single standard, shun all contact with the outside world, unless it is to protect the jungle. That said, with every generation, there are those Viera who long for a life beyond the verdant sea of trees, and abandon their tribes to start a new life in the kingdom's cities. My guess is that this Fran is one such individual. Who also happens to be the only individual we know who can guide us to the monastery, Kupo. It seems Prince's sword arm won't be enough to see us through this predicament. He'll need to don the right mantle of a diplomat if we're to convince the Alliances and the East Aldernard Trading Company to grant us aid. What could go wrong? I'd say a lot. Yes, I know you said not to call unless it was urgent, but this is urgent. Alright, not exactly, but my superiors have come to a decision on your request, and I thought you might want to hear what they had to say. Oh, and let me preempt any request for immediate disclosure with a reminder that the information is much too sensitive to discuss over Link Pearl. Meet me at the Ruby Bazaar post-haste, and I shall duly apprise you of their judgment. Well then, Prince, what are we waiting for? I've read about how you united the whole of Eorzea under a single standard and convinced the Holy See to end a 1000-year conflict. Compared to that, asking for a few soldiers and a coffer or three of gil should be piece of Rolandberry cake. I get the feeling a lot of this text wasn't grammar checked. Ah, I suppose we should inform Gwagi down at Kugane Landing of our progress. You mentioned he was to keep an eye on us. So you've an answer from East Aldernard already? Impressive. It would seem the Lady Fran has underestimated your influence amongst the realm's players. I assume you have no objections to me joining you then? None at all. So the Ruby Bazaar should be this way. Here we are. Hancock awaits us in the bazaar. Shall we, Prince? Let us enter. A lovely lady and, Banca? And here I was expecting you would be alone, Prince. Ah, but excuse my manners. I am Hancock, representative of the East Aldernard Trading Company assigned to oversee her assets here in Kugane. It is a pleasure to meet you. And I am Yagiri. We apologize for making you come all this way. Not that it is far from the landing to, Wagi, was it? I serve Lord Hien, rightful ruler of Doma. I have come bearing our nation's reply to your entreaty. And I am Tataru Taru, of the Scions of the Seventh Dawn. I'm only here seeing as no one else could be bothered. Well, that, and to bear a message from the leaders of the Eorzean Alliance. Thank you both for coming. I am Bwagi, formerly of the Dalmascan Royal Fusiliers. I now claim allegiance to Lente's Tears, a resistance group seeking to accomplish what you have in Doma and Alamigo. What tidings have you brought us? Allow me to begin then. While the East Aldernard Trading Company sympathizes with your plight, we are not in a position to grant you the funding you seek. Okay, Tataru Taru, didn't we just get a whole bunch of gold from doing that whole thing with the auspices? Can't we use that? As you are aware, the East Aldernard Trading Company prides itself in its neutrality, be it in matters political or personal. And what of our relationship with the Eorzean Alliance? Ah, yes. What I meant to say was, here in Hengashi, the East Aldernard Trading Company prides itself in its neutrality, be it in matters political and, You must understand our position. Simply supplying coin to any one group would make it appear that we somehow favor that group over another, seeing as we conduct business openly and fairly with everyone. Doing such would be sending the wrong message, and ultimately harm profits, yes. And by selling to both sides you maximize profits while good men and women perish. How convenient. We are a business, milady. We do what we must to survive. That does not mean, however, we are blind to the needs of our customers or our allies, which is why we support the Eorzean Alliance and their noble efforts to safeguard their realm's freedom through a mutually beneficial arrangement. If it were my choice, I would provide your little resistance with all the funding it needs, but as my good friend Prince knows all too well, it is not my choice. Well, now that Hancock's thoroughly lowered your spirits, you won't be as crestfallen when I inform you the Eorzean Alliance will also be unable to provide any assistance. Which kind of makes sense. They're busy over at the Grimlet Dark right now. And let me guess, you did everything in your power to try and convince the leaders of each city-state, only to watch as they politely declined our proposal, claiming an unfortunate lack of intelligence or resources? Wait, how did you... Lord Hien sends his greeting to you and yours. Having recently found strength through a newly formed alliance, and with our neighboring nations, Doma is open to further welcoming like-minded organizations. This includes our Dalmascan brothers and sisters, still suffering under the Imperial yoke. However, word has it that the latest attempt at reclaming your kingdom ended in failure, resulting in the loss of countless lives, including many of the resistance leaders. You are not mistaken, our army is not what it once was. Those remaining have been forced to take refuge deep beneath the streets of Ravenashta. The 4th Legion has already defeated you once. Lacking unity and leadership, the current resistance will not survive another tilt against the Empire's disciplined ranks. If Doma is to join hands with Dalmasca as an ally, you must first prove to us that you will stand as one. Doma as a full-fledged ally would serve far better to strengthening our cause than a few temporary soldiers. Even if we were to wrest Dalmasca from the Empire's grasp, without unity amongst your people, the resulting chaos could prove even more perilous to the kingdom. You understand much of our situation. And based on that understanding, you would refuse your aid to Lente's tears, am I correct? Do not mistake me, Lord Hien's refusal is but a message to help you plan your next step. You have a wise master. He understands that without proper planning, driving one enemy from your midst simply creates room for the next. Lady Fran will no doubt be pleased to hear that your response was exactly what she expected. You knew this whole time that your demands would be rejected. You still let this farce play out? You have my apologies, but this was all necessary to prove an important point to our leader. Lady Fran needed to show the princess just exactly what she was getting herself into, and your honesty today will serve us better than any hollow promise. Thank you. Wait, what about the Golmore jungle? Can you believe this? We're right back to where we started. Principal Genomus will not be pleased. Alright, let's make our way back over to the Prima Vista. Hey, Dr. Merlot. Welcome to the show. I think I've seen you, before a few times. You can actually see my gill in the, lower right corner. That's what I personally got on me. But in terms of what happened with the auspices, they basically gave, like, 3 or 4 boxes full of gold bars and gold coins and such. I didn't really get any of that. I think it was, like, only, like, 1,200 gil I got from that. It'd be interesting to see how those events intertwined here. Alright, back aboard the Prima Vista. If it is as you say, it is most unfortunate, but I suppose we did everything in our power, and that is all one could ask. I still do not understand. Why would Lady Fran send Prince on this wild Paisa chase if she knew from the start it would be for naught? Hawagi mentioned something about Fran proving a point to their leader, whomever that may be. People in positions of power can prove both naive and stubborn creatures. Simply telling a leader she is wrong may not convince her of the fact. Seeing one's own plan fail, however, is oft the best medicine. Naive and stubborn? Then the resistance is doomed! If a person as imposing as Fran is taking orders from her, then chances are this leader is even worse, Kupo. I would not be so certain, Montblanc. My guess is that the individual in question is still quite young and inexperienced, and that Lady Fran is trying to teach her to be an effective leader through example. By allowing her to make her own mistakes, Fran is granting her the ability to learn and grow from them. An experience that will ultimately benefit her when the time comes to make some truly difficult decisions. Now, I seem to recall reading that one of the many faces of the resistance before the recent quelling was a young girl of royal blood. Do you suppose? You may cease with your baseless presumptions, defector. The door was open. And you would be? I will be here on orders from the leader of Lente's Tears, against my better judgment, mind you. Greetings, Lady Fran, I presume. I am Genomus, Sen Lexentale, principal of the Majestic Theater Company. You and your colleagues are most welcome on the Prima Vista. What is it your leader would have of us? While you failed in meeting even a single of our demands, she recognizes that you were sincere in your attempts to see them fulfilled, and for that effort you are to be compensated. That is most generous. The ruins which you seek are hidden behind a waterfall here, a point roughly equidistant from the river's source and its delta. You have our thanks, Lady Fran. We will not forget this kindness. Father, I shall plot a course immediately. I think this is one of the first times we've actually seen a map of the area. Ramza, what is going on here? Alma, you should be in bed. I've slept enough, brother. Tell me, who are our guests? It appears you once again prepare a leap into danger's maw. Keep your wits about you, Prince. Lady Fran is strong, but then again, so was Bagamnon. Ah, if you'll excuse me. Are you mad? A trip to the surface in your condition? Listen to me, brother. The High Seraph beckons. She speaks to me through the Odious. The what? There is no need to worry. Mikoto and I have already devised a plan. I can help clear our family name. The Charlian has no say in this. I am your father, and I insist you remain here on the airship. What would your mother say if I allowed aught to befall you? Mother? This is what this is all about, isn't it? What it has always been about. You care not about Ivalice or the Aura name. No, you only seek to use the Aura site to bring Mother back. But you haven't been able to do that. You still do not understand how exactly it is that the shards translate one's desires into reality. That is where I can help. I can ask the High Seraph. It is she who created the Aura site. Ultima has bid me come to her place of imprisonment. If we free her, she will reveal unto us the secrets of her creations. You hear what you're saying, Alma? Even if there was the slightest chance of bringing Mother back, we cannot risk your life in doing so. Your brother is right. We have sacrificed too much already. I cannot bear the thought of losing you, either of you. It's too late! I'm so lonely, Father. Why must you love Ramza more than you do me? Do not be concerned by your daughter's words, for they are not her own. Help me, Ramza. Alma! No! No! God's forfend. I told you, no one can control the power within those shards. No one. Prince, here, take this. It might be the only thing that can save Alma, but we must hurry to the monastery. Come, we leave for the Gulmore jungle, now. Alright, let us speak to Ramza. Have I your permission to depart, Prince? Every moment we tarry here, my sister, she... Of course, Ramza. Then hold on, I've set engines to full speed. Welcome to the land of my people. 'Twould be a poor lie if I said I did not miss it some. Alma! Ramza, help me. Trauma! Come on, everybody, grab on! Be gone! I guess that works too. Alma! Ramza! Blood of the Invokers, fulfill the ancient covenant, and grant unto me the vessel promised. Ramza! Just... Wagi, to me. The girl is not well. Might I suggest we continue this back on the Prima Vista, Kupo? Have you the courage to face true evil? What are you gawping at? The ship is this way, Kupo. If a magic rift was necessary to seize Alma, then it is quite possible that Ultima is still incapable of traveling beyond the bounds of the Orbonne Monastery. However, if Orisight is all the High Seraph requires to do so, then we are in grave danger. Now Ramza is gone. Oh, dearest Tia, what have I done? What have I done? We need to do something, but what recourse is left to us? The only means we have of protecting ourselves could not even prevent my son from... I am sorry, Genomus. My design was flawed. Not necessarily, Charlian. We all saw how it succeeded in drawing Alma back from the rift and shattering the Odious. The loss of the boy is not yours to bear. Our focus here should not be on our failures, but what we have learned from them. The being beyond the rift, it spoke before claiming Ramza. It referred to you as the blood of its invokers. Could it be your ancestors are responsible for Ultima's summoning? Most certainly not. I have discovered no such inference anywhere in the Durai papers. Besides, tales of the High Seraph existed far before even the earliest of Ivalician legends. Then who exactly did summon Ultima, and why does she think them your kin? Look! I have a bad feeling about this, Kupo. Echo time! Ramza dead? You lie about as well as you carry yourself in battle, Oron. I did not say he was dead, my Lord Delita, merely that he had abandoned his mortal vessel, entrusting his ethereal soul to the Orsite. Why would he do such a thing? Peace has finally come to Ivalice. There is naught to be had from further sacrifice. The kingdom is won, and this victory is as much his as it is mine. He risked life and limb to shield me from the dark that would have seen me perish. Without him, I would not be standing here before you. It is my duty as both king and colleague to see him saved. Knights to me! We ride for Orbonne! My lord, wait! Ajora Glabados, first of the Zodiac Braves, was not the hero the Church would have you believe. He betrayed Mother Heidelin for the promise of coin and power, summoning forth a terrible evil from the depths of the celestial abyss. It was believed only one of the land's chosen, only a warrior of light, might stand against this threat. Yet while victorious in battle, Ramza was unable to see the darkness vanquished. If failure was all that awaited our warrior of light, then what chance do you presume any other might stand? Are you saying I should do nothing, then? No, my lord. Ramza is. My brother's final wish before he surrendered to the Aether was that his name be struck for the annals of history. Alma, you're unhurt. But I was led to believe none but Oran returned from Orbonne. What is this you speak of your brother's wishes? When it became apparent that we were powerless to truly defeat the High Seraph, we chose the only path left to us, to do what Heidelin herself did countless centuries past, imprison Ultima. And as you are aware, my lord, a prison is only as strong as the seal on its gates. Ramza sacrificed his body to ensure that the Angel of Blood would never again walk the land, and he believed that if people knew of his sacrifice, it would only inspire them to seek out the holy stones and repeat the mistakes of those come before. If you truly avouch your friend, yourself his friend, then you will honor this, his final plea. No, Ramza should not be forgotten. He should be raised up as a hero for his deeds, and claim his rightful place at my side. Only he might be my knight gallant. He is gone, my lord. Before Ramza was your friend, before he was my brother, he was a warrior of light. He did what he did for Heidelin, and for those who would one day, too, heed the crystal's call. Claim the throne, my friend. Become ruler of Ivalice and restore peace to this war-torn realm once and for all. Wait, Ramza! Don't leave me! Please, I beg of you! You will make a fine and just king, Delita. See you do not stray from that path. Ramza! The stones in these 2 necklaces. You're certain they will guide the heroes of a new era to Ramza? 'Tis what Ramza wished, my lord. Orbonne, I do not believe I can bear another farewell this day. Will you not reconsider my offer to remain as a member of my court? 'Tis but a matter of time before the Cardinal and his temple knights grow wise to my past. I would not have my presence here implicate you as well. Ramza beseeched me strike his name from history, but like you, my lord, I could not bear the thought of future generations blind to the truth. As such, I penned this chronicle of the hero's journeys. I fear the world, however, is not yet ready for the gospel contained within these pages, nor would the Church ever allow its circulation. In fact, I believe they will confiscate every existing copy and lock them away in their library. And what better way for the words to remain forever preserved than in one of the most highly guarded vaults in all the realm? Then, one day, when the Church has fallen out of favor, the Chronicle will be discovered and truth shall prevail. I must admit, your plan is intriguing, Orbonne. But once the Church learns it was you who penned the Chronicle, your life... Prince! 'Twas the echo, wasn't it? This is gonna take a while. The removal of Ramza's name from the history books, the Jirai papers, the pendants, it was all set in motion by Orbonne himself. And if the Liberator's visions are to be taken as fact, it also appears we now know what the High Seraph meant by blood of my invoker. She was not speaking of ancestors in the sense of actual kin, but the line of those chosen by Hydaelyn to serve her as warriors of light. But then why abduct Ramza, or even Alma, unless there is something you haven't been telling us? She was using us to lure Prince. It is his vessel the High Seraph desires. Matron's teats! Alma, how long have you been awake? I've been a fool. I told our leader that it did not matter if our request for aid was refused, for I had an alternative ploy. General. It is alright, Bwagi. My intention was to claim one of these aura sites in the name of the Resistance and use its power to lay waste to the Garlean occupants. Only now do I realize how flawed my ambitions were. You mean this whole time you were playing us for fools? Why didn't we see it earlier? Never trust a woman with ears longer than mine, I always say. You've every right to be angry, and I apologize for misleading you. But believe me, I no longer have any desire to deceive you and yours. I shall see you to the Orbonne Monastery, and ask not in return, but that you let me join you in your rescue of Ramsay. Do not misunderstand me. I do not do this for any one of you. I do it for my people in both Gormor and Rabanastra. People who may die if this High Seraph is allowed to return to power. That was one heck of a long intro to a quest! But the Orbonne Monastery is now available. So, let us queue up. Let's see how long this is. Okay, so this has it at a wait time of 25 minutes. That is actually quite a while here. I want to see if maybe we can get in under a different condition here. Let me put on my white mage costume. Okay, that is a bit better. So, we'll go in as this instead, and I'm going to set my HUD up to my healing method instead now. Dr. Merlot, no, I believe Construct 8 was in the last one. So while we wait here, let's take a look at the description. Beckoned by the aura sight, you arrive at the Orbonne Monastery, vestige of an ancient civilization lost beneath the twisted roots and vines of a forbidden jungle. Oh, here we go. Alright, here we go. I'm not entirely sure. I didn't see it myself, but I have to guess it would either be 365 or 370. This is a very nice looking raid here. Mustadio. That name sounds familiar, but I can't place it.
What's this? You shall promise. Promise won't save you from what comes next.
Okay, what's happening here?
This new final testament.
Okay.
And what am I being used to?
Now, what I saw before I got taken out there was a lot of people actually had the opening on the circle face towards him, so I'm gonna try that next time.
We're just warming up.
that's a line AoE. It's gonna smash down this way and along this.
You're making this too easy. I see it.
Let's see if this works.
Final testament.
It did. Okay. Get off the mines. Yeah, so a lot of it is you're watching around the arena for where the bots are and where they're going to send their line AoEs.
I see it.
Alright, here we go again.
Let this be your final testament.
Alright, that does it for the first boss. That wasn't too bad. Wow, I could use that right now.
The Beowulf youth guides your fate, but have you the faith to fulfill his legacy?
So up next we got the Agrius. Seems familiar, and that I think we've seen something like this before in Amdapor. Nice, the roll finished before we got into this battle.
To the current of life we succumb, its judgment swift and final, its bite as cold as steel.
I'm not sure if I used my my ability too early or not.
The hearts of men are black with corruption and must needs be cleansed! Shadows cast, 7 fates foretold, with
Okay, I'm down.
The dreams of men are fleeting, yet they must be embraced if they are to flourish. Have you the faith to do as much?
Okay, I'm down again. I hit the button. Maybe it just wears off really fast or something.
Seven fates foretold, but at the end of the broken path lies death, and death alone! The cleansing light shall be your guide.
So no, I didn't see a timer on it there, so I'm not exactly sure what it is that I'm missing about that mechanic. Okay, what's happening now? Got it. So if you're not a DPS class, this gives you a way to attack. So that's it. Alright. Well, now I wish I had waited, because I could have gotten the pants instead. Oh well. Alright, this is looking like a group of trash here. This may be a trash group, but they're definitely putting out a lot of damage, regardless. These circles, you just need to have enough players to stand on them to make the ward appear.
Your coming was foretold, servant of Ivalice. perhaps you serve another. I am Count Sinolphus Orlando. Your journey ends here.
So a figure in the middle of the room feels maybe Ozma-like, but I'm not entirely sure. Alright, so we're about to get this underway.
The hearts of men are black with corruption and must needs be cleansed. I call out to the skies and tremble as the brilliance of 1,000 bolts blinds mine enemies and tears their flesh asunder. 7 shadows cast, 7 fates foretold, yet at the end of the broken path lies death, and death alone. Open your eyes to the darkness and drown in its loveless embrace. The gods will not be watching. Misfortune hangs heavy on a head once held high. Such is poor cover for when the heavens fall. Come, show me more. To the current of life we succumb, its judgment swift and final. Its bite as cold as steel.
Alright, let's get ourselves back up here.
Sword is to die by the sword. There is time enough for regret in the flames of hell. Hold is the blade that severs the villain's head. Endless is the path that leads him from hell.
Alright, here we go again.
The hearts of men are black with corruption and must needs be cleansed. I call out to the skies and tremble as the brilliance of 1,000 bolts blinds mine enemies and tears their flesh asunder. To the current of life we succumb, its judgment swift and final, its bite as cold as steel. Open your eyes to the darkness and drown in its loveless embrace. The gods will not be watching. Misfortune hangs heavy on a head once held high. Such is poor cover for when the heavens fall. Come, show me more. Seven shadows cast, seven fates foretold. Yet at the end of the broken path lies death, and death alone.
Alright, so the way he's holding those swords does indicate how he's going to attack. I just haven't figured out the whole look for each of them just yet.
There is time enough for regret in the flames of hell. Honed is the blade that severs the villain's head. Endless is the path that leads him from hell.
Alright, so this is a standard ad phase. I guess we're all running back into place.
Come, show me more. Escape is not so easily granted.
I know that when he stabs in like that, you gotta get real close.
Were you expecting a modicum of rust? You will find my defenses quite impenetrable. A piteous display. They who dwell aloft have spoken. Let their words echo in your empty soul. Ruination is come. Even the strongest of shields cannot defend the weakest of wills. A moment's hesitation beckons a lifetime of pain. You will find my defenses quite impenetrable.
Getting quite hairy in here, that's for certain.
Hark! The screams of ruin rise above the storm's discord. Shudder not in her endless cold.
I honestly have no idea what happened. Alright, well, here we go again.
The hearts of men are black with corruption and must needs be cleansed. I call out to the skies and tremble as the brilliance of 1,000 bolts blinds mine enemies.
With the swords like that, he attacks specific circles.
7 shadows cast, 7
Like
fates
this,
fought.
get out of the donut.
Yet at the end of the broken path lies death, and death alone.
And then when he smashes the swords into the stone, that's when you need to get in.
Its loveless embrace. The gods will not be watching. Misfortune hangs heavy on a head once held high. Such is poor cover for when the heavens fall. Come, show me more. To the current of life we succumb. Its
Alright, get in.
swift and final. Its fight as cold as steel. To live by the sword is to die by the sword. There is time enough for regret in the flames of hell. Hold is the blade that severs the villain's head. Endless is the path that leads him from hell. And now the scales will turn.
Alright, everybody back into place.
Show me more.
Okay, he's going for specific platforms.
Escape is not so
Get in.
easy. Were you expecting a modicum of rust? You will find my defenses quite impenetrable. A piteous display.
Get out.
They who dwell aloft have spoken. Let their words echo in your empty soul. Ruination is come. Even the strongest of shields cannot defend the weakest of wills. A moment's hesitation beckons a lifetime of pain. Find my defenses quite impenetrable. Hark! The screams of ruin rise above the storm's discord. Shudder not in her endless call.
Okay, I see what's going on.
The hearts of men are black with corruption and must needs be cleansed.
Alright, right now we don't have a tank.
I call out
And now we got one.
And tremble as the brilliance of 1,000 bolts blinds mine enemies and tears their flesh asunder. 7 shadows cast, 7 fates foretold. Yet at the end of the broken path lies death, and death alone. Open your eyes to the darkness and drown in its loveless embrace.
I think we're just gonna take this as a wipe.
Not to be watching. Misfortune hangs heavy on a head once held high. Such is poor cover for when the heavens fall.
But yeah, I get how that's supposed to work. Basically, you need to keep standing on that. I started moving to the left earlier when I saw the other team coming. The problem for me is I think the mechanic itself blends into the ground a little too much that half the time I'm having trouble even realizing it's happening. Okay, that kind of makes sense for the tether part. Alright, here we go.
The hearts of men are black with corruption, and must needs be cleansed. I call out to the skies and tremble as the brilliance of 1,000 bolts
You can stay here.
blinds mine enemies and tears their flesh asunder. To the current of life we succumb.
Get in.
Its judgment swift and final. Its bite as cold as steel. Open your eyes to the darkness and drown in its loveless embrace. The gods will not be watching. Misfortune hangs heavy on a head once held high. Such is poor cover for when the heavens fall. Come, show me more.
We can stay here.
Seven shadows cast, seven fates
Get out.
told. Yet at the end of the broken path lies death, and death alone. To live by the sword is to die by the sword. There is time enough for regret in the flames of hell.
Okay, I was able to see it that
Cold
time.
is the blade that severs the villain's head. Endless is the path that leads him from hell.
It could be the fact that I've got everybody's health bars over here that's actually blocking me from seeing it. In that case, what I'll do is I'll look closer to where our own tank is standing then. Oh, Alliance B, what are you doing there?
Now the scale is lifted.
Alright, back in place.
Come, show me more. Escape is not so easily granted. Were you expecting a modicum of rust? You will find my defenses quite impenetrable. A piteous display. They who dwell aloft have spoken. Let their words echo in your empty soul. Ruination is come. Even the strongest of shields cannot defend the weakest of wills. A moment's hesitation beckons a lifetime of pain.
So the way that mechanic works is you take one hit from it and then give it to someone else.
You will find my defenses quite impenetrable.
Just made it in time for that one.
Rise above the storm's discord.
I think we've got an ad coming up next.
Endless cold.
Yeah, over here. Okay, that was a DPS check. Alright, Alliance B needs another player, so we're waiting on that right now. We still got plenty of time in this. Looks like we got about 56 minutes here. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like Alliance B has gotten a replacement DP... Oh, there they are. Okay, never mind. Alright, we are ready to go. So much for trying to get a limit break opener there.
With corruption and must needs be cleansed. I call out to the skies and tremble as the brilliance of 1,000 bolts blinds mine enemies and tears their flesh asunder. 7 shadows cast, 7 fates foretold, yet at the end of the broken path lies death, and death alone. Open your eyes to the darkness and drown in its loveless embrace. The gods will not be watching. Misfortune hangs heavy on a head once held high. Such is poor cover for when the heavens fall. Come, show me more. To the current of life we succumb. Its judgment swift
get in.
and final. Its might as cold as steel. To live by the sword is to die by the sword. There is time enough for regret in the flames of hell. Hold is the blade that severs the villain's head. Endless is the path that leads him from hell.
onto the ad phase.
In balance. And now the scales will tip.
Alright, back to our marker.
Come, show me more. Piteous display. Were you expecting a modicum of rust?
I have no idea what Purah was doing there.
You will find my defenses quite impenetrable. Escape is not so easy.
Get in.
They who dwell aloft have spoken. Let their words echo in your empty soul. Ruination is come.
So that one is kind of tricky because he delays where he actually does that.
Even the strongest of shields cannot defend the weakest of wills. A moment's hesitation beckons a lifetime of pain. Find my defenses quite impenetrable. Hark! The screams of ruin rise above the storm's discord. Shudder not in her endless cold.
Looks like a black mage isn't ready.
The hearts of men are black with corruption and must needs be cleansed. I call out to the skies and tremble as the brilliance of 1,000 bolts blinds mine enemies and tears their flesh asunder. 7 shadows cast, 7 fates foretold.
Get out, get out, get out.
The broken path lies death, and death alone. Open your eyes to the darkness and drown in its loveless embrace. The gods will not be watching. Misfortune hangs heavy on a head once held high. Such is poor cover for when the heavens fall. Come, show me more.
We're good here.
To the current of life we succumb.
And get in.
Its judgment swift and final. Its bite as cold as steel.
Alright, we're gonna have the ad phase in a moment.
To live by the sword is to die by the sword. There is time enough for regret in the flames of hell. Hold is the blade that severs the villain's head. Endless is the path that leads him from hell.
Here come the AoEs. The very world lies in balance. And now the scales will tell. Come, show me more. Escape is not so easy. Get in.
Were you expecting a modicum of rust? You will find my defenses quite impenetrable. It is to display. They who dwell aloft have spoken. Let their words echo in your empty soul. Ruination is come.
Wow, our whole side that time.
Strongest of shields cannot defend the weakest of wills. A moment's hesitation beckons a lifetime of pain. You will find my defenses quite impenetrable. The screams of ruin rise above the storm's discord. Shudder not in her endless cold.
We gotta take this out now. Okay. It looks like we made it. So that's progress again.
Piteous display.
Gotta get out.
Were you expecting a modicum of rust? You will find my defenses quite impenetrable. Escape is not so easily granted. Impetuous fools.
Go, go, go. We almost got him. 3%. That's it. Finally.
Is it sanctum you seek, my wayward children? Or perhaps you are come in search of power? That which lies at your feet, that blessed bauble can grant you both. Mortal agency in matters divine shall not be suffered.
Alright, so we will see how this battle goes. We got 34 minutes, so... Alright, let's get this party started. At least their health is going down fairly fast, so that's some good news.
Your very soul shall not escape my wrath.
Gotcha, I gotta watch out behind me then.
Denizens of the abyss, from ink of blackest night, I summon you. Kneel before me. Denizens of the Abyss, from ink of blackest night, I summon you.
Alright, we've seen this mechanic before. Always start on the slower platform and then move on.
Denizens of the Abyss, from ink of blackest night, I summon.
Oh, it's this guy again. I see what's going on. They're summoning a bunch of the older bosses here.
Your very soul shall not escape my wrath.
Alright, so there's the crystal. Got it. Okay, so they do it in cardinal directions. Rain of Fallen. Right, we gotta stay on this side for this flame attack. That it?
Bear your steel. Simmered as the light of life before rising to the heavens in a cleansing conflagration of divine benevolence. Your sins, your souls are undone. You will not intervene. I am the only god.
I think that was Ramza at the end.
Few can claim to have endured the might of my will. Denizens of the Abyss, from ink of blackest night, I summon you. Kneel before me.
Okay, that seems similar to another mechanic we've seen before. But rather than the player being forced to march in a specific direction, it's the mechanic that marches.
Kneel before me. Denizens of the abyss, from ink of blackest night, I summon. Denizens of the abyss, from ink of blackest night, I summon. Bend to my will. Kneel before me.
Now that's an interesting puzzle.
Denizens of the abyss, from ink of blackest night, I summon.
Unless they do something else, we might actually have a shot at one shot in this.
Your very soul shall not escape my wrath.
Right, westward.
Kneel before me.
Let me say spot is gonna be over here.
I see it now, in you. Denizens of the abyss, from ink of blackest night, I summon.
That's it. I'm done trying to do any DPS here. I'm just gonna focus on healing now.
Denizens of the abyss, from ink of blackest night, I summon. Denizens of the abyss,
And that's it! One shot!
I summon. I am your mother. I am your maker. I am Ivalice. Consign me unto darkness, and your light will be forever lost.
Might have a shot at the Ramza. Alright, let's get out of here. He's awake, Kupo. But is it truly him? Thank you. Thank you for coming to my aid. And you have my thanks, noble warrior of light. You have achieved what I could not. And you, bearers of my blood and blood of House Durai, thank you for seeing my final wish fulfilled. My sacrifice has finally been given meaning. Now, my friends, let us retire to Mother Heidelin's bosom, that we may finally rest. Farewell. You are the true heroes of this story. Lita, how I have missed you, old friend. Forgive me, Ramza. You deserved better than what history gave you. I could have done more. I am truly sorry. These countless centuries did I long for the day that we might meet once again. And now that time has finally come. Heidelin beckons us both. Alright, quite the adventure. I am so sorry, Ramza, Alma. I convinced myself my research was the most important thing in my life. All the while, you two were standing before me. Can you find it in your hearts to forgive your father? It is all right. We are still here, are we not? And we triumphed. We proved your theory true. Ivalice existed. Ramza existed. And Oran Durai was not a heretic, but a hero. Now all that remains is to tell the world. No, my son, we needn't burden ourselves further. But Father, we cannot allow our ancestors' name to remain... And we will not, yet simply not in the manner you think. I shall be adding a final act to the Zodiac Grave story, telling of how Ramza, the forgotten hero, and his chronicler, Oran Durai, smote the Angel of Blood and saved Ivalice from an age of darkness, before quietly embarking on a final journey that would take them far beyond the horizon. And, of course, I shall not leave out those nameless heroes who fought alongside Ramza, without whom the young noble would have surely perished. Is that what you truly want, Father? For the story to end? It will only end on the stage, my dear, and live on in the hearts of the crowd. King Delita and Oran envisioned the Virgo as a beacon which would lead future generations to the truth about the founding of their kingdom. They were right, and just as the pendants guided us, now we shall guide the masses through our play. And now you see, my son. I would offer you my thanks again, Prince, but thanks are not nearly enough to express my gratitude for all you have given us. Perhaps after I complete the Zodiac Grave story, I shall pen a tale about the legendary Warrior of Light and his adventures across the 3 great continents. Then you'll have your work cut out for you, my friend. Prince has enough battles under his belt to fill at least 3 tomes, if not 4. Would you stop doing that, Sid? And his tale is far from over, isn't it? Alright, this is our final dress rehearsal for the night. Make it count. Positions, everyone. Yes, Principal. Lights, music. There will be no more mistakes for you two. Am I clear? Mother crystal clear, Kupo. They're going to perform the new final act. Begin! Bravo, bravo! You both were wonderful. I'm inclined to agree with the Lady Marilla sentiments, but there is always room for improvement. Back to your positions, everyone. Again, from the top. Again? I've had enough of this. I was promised a starring role, Kupo. It is in my contract. Oh, hush, brother. Before Geonomus has us back to polishing boot buckles again. Meanwhile, in the clockwork city of Goog. Well, sir, further research will be required to reach a positive conclusion, but preliminary tests show that the technology utilized here bears striking similarities to our own. Excellent. Let the Eorzeans play with their baubles. True power lies within these very walls. It appears our ancestors were as cunning as they were ruthless. A weapon powerful enough to carve a gateway to the land's very core. His radiance will be eager to test this Tartarus. Wouldn't you all agree? Alright. And so, I believe we need to head out. Yeah, here we go. Well, wasn't that an adventure, Prince? It is sad to think we must soon part ways. What with all we've been through these past few moons. Satisfied with the city's unwillingness to turn him over to the Garleans, Geonomus has decided to purchase a permanent berth above Kugane for the Prima Vista. Supposedly, he has already received petitions from hundreds of Geico and Genin to join this company. And then there is the matter of my assignment. You will be delighted to learn that I am almost finished. What? How do you expect one to write an exposé when off battling forces of evil from beyond the void? Don't you worry, though. A few more weeks and I'll have a draft. Alright, an outline. Until then, I'll stay here in Kugane a while longer. At the Raven's expense, of course. Farewell. Alright, and so with that, we have reached the end of the 24-man raid. And from what I understand, we are going to be getting Viera as a future race in the game. Yoshi pretty much confirmed it with the Bugs Bunny t-shirt, but I gotta ask, why not Bonga as well? Seriously, I would rather have Bonga than Viera. But anyway, that's just my opinion. Anyway, next week we've got Blue Mage coming up. I can't wait to get started on that. But until then, if you've enjoyed today's content, please do make sure to subscribe and click the bell to be notified whenever I go live or whenever I put out a new video. In addition to that, I also have a Discord. Link to that is in the description below. Thank you for joining me today. This is PrinceBrightstar signing off. I'll catch you next time.